Hey, what's up? It's your boy Jose, and you listening to the 520 Collective Podcast, where the music meets the ministry and the indie artists take the center stage. Just in case you ain't know.
Let's go get a problem. Let's go get a problem.
520 Collective, where music meets ministry and the indie artists take center stage.
Take a ride through my old town, old me, old Sean. Might need boats, cry oceans. Here float down my old child fear. So broke, no hope round here. Been trying to cope since like 01. Better slow down for your cosign, you might ocean.
What's good, and welcome to the 520 Collective Podcast, where music meets ministry and the indie artist takes center stage. We are in the field on the Trackstars Podcasting Network. This is Eric Boston along with Nate Shelton. Nate, how are we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Eric?
Dude, I am good. I'm excited. We're back. We made it to episode 2, so that feels pretty good. I guess the first show was good enough that we might keep just making these for a little bit, which is a good feeling.
Yes. First one's always a little nerve-wracking, getting your feet underneath you, but I feel a lot more prepared for this one, and I'm ready to put some more good content out there.
Definitely. And, before we jump into the meat of this episode, I think, we just should hit on a couple of things that's been going on over at 520. So, guys, if you haven't hit up the site, it is 520collective.com. And right now, we just announced our first ever Bars Challenge. It's a challenge and giveaway. A lot of really cool prizes that we are going to be handing out with this. And we're going to announce a winner at the beginning of March. So we are pretty excited. We'll be able to fill you guys in on details on who ended up winning that first challenge on next month's podcast. So we're really looking forward to that. A part of the prize package is the winner's going to get a feature from Zay Hill. They'll get an interview with 520 Collective. So just some really cool things. And Nate, we're getting some good response to this challenge. A lot of people checking it out, and we're looking forward to seeing what people bring when they start dropping these submissions for it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like you said, the response has been fantastic. Just waiting to get those submissions in and see who's going to bring the biggest amount of heat with it and claim that trophy.
Right. And then, the site's going well, guys. We got another... there's just a lot of really cool stuff happening, like interactions, connections that we're making that is going to allow us to do some cool stuff in the future from where we're sitting anyway. Nate, what has been the biggest thing over the past month that's just really stood out to you as far as what's going on with 520 Collective?
The biggest thing for me has been the response and the feedback that's, all been positive with, a little bit of constructive criticism, nothing negative, but just, some advice here and there to maybe make things a little bit better. But in general, the response has been fantastic. People are, artists and other pages as well are jumping at the opportunity to work with us. They want to partner with us to help this thing grow. And, it's really been an amazing thing working with the CHH community, trying to get our website out there and getting it in front of people.
Yeah, and man, that's definitely one thing I'm excited about is to really, over this next year specifically, explore some of those relationships and see what we can do in combo with them, right? I mean, there's a lot of these guys that, man, we look up to, that they are inspirations for what we are trying to do and what we're hoping to eventually become and accomplish. So to be able to speak with them right here out the gate and look and see, okay, how can we help push their platforms? How can we just push the culture together as a whole. Yeah, man, I'm super excited. So before we jump into the episode, Nate, tell the people, where can they follow you on social media?
I am mostly on Twitter at I am Nate Dog. That's capital I, lowercase a-m _ Nate Dog with a capital N and a capital D, 2 G's. That's where I do most of my CHH music. I post about music and interact with a lot of the community on there. Otherwise, we have our Facebook page for FiveTwenty Collective that we post a lot of our some of our website content and a lot of other CHH industry news and posts about other artists. We have that as well. Also, we're on Instagram, FiveTwenty Collective as well. But for me exclusively, it's at I am Nate Dog on Twitter.
Cool. Awesome. And guys, you can follow me on Twitter as well. It is at EricBoston3. That's at EricBoston3. So yeah, man, I'm excited about this episode. I think it's going to be a good podcast, and I'm ready to jump into it. Nate, how about you?
Oh, I am ready to go as well.
Awesome. So guys, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by Bridgewater. Jay Bridge and Christina with a K have a new single titled Levels that's set to drop on February 22nd. Levels features Adrian Butler and will be available on all digital media outlets. Listen, if you're not familiar with Bridgewater, you need to check them out. They were recently one of 10 featured artists on the Next Up list from DJ Jeremiah of Trackstars, so you know that they're bringing quality content. Check out Bridgewater at whoisbridgewater.com today and follow them on Twitter at Bridgewater Music. That is at Bridgewater MUZK now. You can also find info about Bridgewater at artist.520collective.info. And then while you're online, guys, head on over to www.520collective.com, where you'll find articles, reviews, interviews, and plenty of great music from artists such as Bridgewater and a variety of talent across indie CHH. While you're there, drop your email in our subscribe box to get updates directly to your email from 520 Collective when we publish new content. You can also follow us, as Nate said, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just use at 520CHH. Nate, you ready to get into this month's song, man? I think it's going to be special. All right, guys. So this month, not only are we breaking down a song, but we're also debuting this track as well. We're going to be listening to Stop Lyin by Azrael, and I'm looking forward to breaking this one down. Nate, can you remind the people that are listening what categories that we're going to be looking at as we listen to this song?
All right, well, the categories are mix and master, the lyrical flow of the song, the hook on the song, production of the track, and the writing involved with the track as well. So those are our categories that we're going to look at today.
Awesome. Now, before we jump into the song, just like I was telling you guys, we have one other quick announcement that I wanted to make sure and to share. And that is that 520 Collective is partnered with the Solomon's Porch podcast. And what we're offering is something I believe you should definitely check out. If you're interested in sponsoring future 520 Collective podcast episodes, why not sponsor both us and Solomon's Porch podcast and get it for one great low price? Hit up our support page at 520collective.com and check out our amazing dual package options where you can promote your ministry on both of our platforms. We're also offering dual website promotion packages as well. Any questions or to take advantage of this partnership with Solomon's Porch podcast, you can email us at 520collective@gmail.com. So here we go, Nate. We're going to listen to the debut of Stop Lyin by Azrael featuring Zach Mahaffey.
They say that they don't need the Lord. Stop lying. They say the priest ain't gonna make it. Stop stop trying. And even though my life will end, I'm not dying. They say that they don't feel this heat. Stop lying. It's like adrenaline and the beast to be killing in a couple of years, but I'm making with the spirit I've been feeling. I'm gotta be coming with the hardest, cause I'm an artist trying to say ain't more than mediocre. Don't get me started. I ain't going to hell, cause my soul is sweating harder when it's standing together. The kingdom, I will not be caught it, cause you know who I am. And the children, and even harder than trying to jack out the sinners out to help about it. Whoa, I'm thinking, yes, that I got another, the money and the women, and the ability where to go. We just lined it over, so we got a land of glory show. Matthew, just 6, when I fuck when I'm where we know. Ain't no one touching me, got me a custody, a bond slave. Father, I will put my trust in me. Still, I can't believe that I was woman. I was clear to see, and ain't nobody quenching my fire, cause they live in me. Yeah, I got a level with you. Satan's always gonna come a mad dude with you. You cannot be stopping the pressure, gotta be dropping it, so why you always carrying a medal with you? Is it protection? Or maybe it's a result of rejection. Drop guard, homie, quit with the flexing. You don't need no Smith and Wesson. See, we can have it to me when it come and refugees. When the devil come at me, I'm gonna cut him into pieces. I'm gonna go and get the same, cause he let us off the leash. Lip affected peanut butter, cup on 400 like Reese's. When they coming to the music, I gotta give him my time. Bring it on, I'm gonna come to the top and I'm gonna find. If there's any other artists out there that's matching my shine, highly doubt it, cause nobody out there is matching my grind. They say that they don't need the Lord. Stop lying. They say the priest ain't gonna make it. Stop trying. And even though my life will end, I'm not dying. They say that they don't feel this heat. Stop lying. Bodak, yellow, yo, track, mellow, Cheerio. I promise you to really want it with the fella. Everybody hopping up on the track, so I gotta do it. Asking me how I be rapping so fast, ain't nothing to it. With the Lord, and it would be my soul. Hope he goes in the channel door and really getting bored. And this full speed ahead, I got the pedal to the floor. If you wanna hear the truth, tell me what you want it for. I'm trying to get it with God, he ain't worried about the hotties. Trying to get the gasoline to the edge of the little shotty. Cause I said I hear of all of the children getting body. Cause all these rappers are telling me in the school to be naughty. But changes really got it. Super Saiyan about to go grade 8. I'm busting up everything and ain't no way you can escape. Coach, you're talking and the little one's filling up with hate. I'm the black Goku and you're finna meet your fate. Meaning when I hit you with the Kamehameha, I'm coming with the final fashion. You ain't having a prayer to be thinking you colder than the king of the slaves. You really gonna be up in the game, don't be a player hater. Think of tired of people think that they know how to rap when they really don't. I'm finna show them how to lyrically snap. It doesn't matter head and day, ain't never closing the gap. And they ain't sleepy, but I'm finna have a taking a nap. I get it popping and these people hopping up in the club and I got connected records. I'm dropping no enemy stopping my grind away. I'm cheating and shocking. People are flocking, they see when I'm rocking. They be stuck in the shelves with the police, cause I'm totally a beast. I ain't keeping the peace, I'm keeping the peace. I got fake back on the stage, I ain't laying the fleece. I thank the Father of heaven cause he gave me the keys. They say that they don't need the Lord. Stop lying. They say the priest ain't gonna make it. Stop trying. And even though my life will end, I'm not dying. They say that they don't feel this heat. Stop lying.
I take offense, I see you out here and at it again. Like ammo you blend, just wanna fit in. Do anything to get likes on the gram. Hashtag Jesus for all of your friends. But do you even wanna know him? Behind the scenes, are you drowning in sin? Weight of the world pushing you to the end. Come up for air, but the waves getting harder. A ball in a chain, keeping you underwater. You gotta work smarter, yeah, call on the Father before you get led straight to the slaughter. But really, this isn't a game. Heaven is always our aim. For now, we just push through the pain. Knowing it's never in vain, never in vain. But that's obvious. The cross made sure of it. Much more than an ornament. It's the only way to be born again. No mourning it. Instead, we celebrate the price he paid late in the grave for just 3 days. But he couldn't stay. Death didn't fade. Jesus, have your way. Now you need to stop lying. You need the Lord, but you're not trying. It open defiance, a deadly alliance. You pray up to God, but you only hear silence. You have been spiritually blinded, but it isn't too late to rewind it. Call out to God and you will find him. You have a future, it's all in his timing.
They say that they don't need the Lord. Stop lying. They say the priest ain't gonna make it. Stop trying. And even though my life will end, I'm not dying. They say that they don't feel this heat. Stop lying.
So that was Stop Lyin by Azrael, and this breakdown is being brought to you by Enoch Flow Records. EFR has been dropping hits by artists such as Jay Fish, Zay Hill, and Azrael. Get an inside look at the label on Saturday nights on Instagram with EFR Live. You can follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Enoch Flow, where the word meets hip-hop for God's glory. If you haven't been keeping an eye on what EFR has been doing within CHH, guys, now is really the time to start. Ted and the team over there, they're putting in work, and really it's all for the kingdom. We're excited to see what God does through them this year. Nate, I mean, can we really say enough about what Enoch Flow has brought into 2019?
No, I mean, really, that 2019, they have came in, they've really made a statement with what they're trying to do this year with their content and music. I mean, you got artists like Zay Hill and Jay Fish, so that's a good start to begin with. And with their project, with Zay's project that he just released, and Jay Fish's Dance with the Devil, it just kind of, let everybody know they need to be taken seriously in the CHH world.
Yeah, certainly. Well, Nate, let's get into this breakdown, man. Why don't you take over? What is the first category that we're going to look at breaking down for Stop Lyin?
Well, we're going to start with the lyrical flow of the song this month. You could tell as we were listening to the track Stop Lyin, Azrael was going for that chopper style flow that I know you're pretty fond of. You like that style. To me, it seemed like it was probably one of his first times trying that style in a recording. It was fairly rough. I lost a lot of what he was saying in the verses with his flow. I don't know if that had a lot. To me, it felt like it was part of the mixing, which we'll get back to later, but the levels on that and just kind of losing his wording as he was trying to keep the flow going. It was kind of hard to pick out a lot of what he was saying, at least on my end, through that style. So I think in the future, just, work on that aspect of his flow, lyrical flow, and, craft it better. It wasn't bad for first try at it. So so that's definitely not a negative thing, but just, work on getting the enunciation, everything going and clear that up. He could really have some good potential there. What did you think about the lyrical flow?
So, like you said, I do have a spot in my heart for the chopper style. My first love is kind of that boom bap, but I grew up right here in the Midwest in Missouri, where probably the king of the choppers in Tech 9, is from. So it's something that I've just, always listened to. So I can definitely appreciate Azrael, in that chopper style. It's a flow that's kind of dropped out of CHH. It was pretty prevalent there for a while, but it's kind of disappearing a little bit. So I think if Azrael can keep developing and perfecting that sound, it's definitely something that has the ability to set him apart in the current landscape. But for the most part, he does a decent job with it. The number one thing that kind of defines a great chopper from someone that can just rap fast is clarity. So if you can chop and still be understood, then you're in your lane. There were parts during Azrael's verses, like you said, where he does get a bit hard to understand. But I can see him being able to improve this also as he moves forward. Now, I do want to hit on the feature here, Zach Mahaffey. He delivers a really good feature verse. Zach's an artist that is still developing, but he's shown some glimpses of his potential, I think. And I feel like on this song, we get into that space where we're hearing what Zach is capable of. At the end of 2018, he dropped Less, which has been, his most successful song to this point. So you take that and you pair it with Stop Lyin. We're really starting to see Zach Mahaffey find his voice as well, and I'm excited to see, now that he's, in the fold with Enoch Flow, where him and Azrael both go throughout 2019 as Ted and the team, work with those guys to develop them as artists.
Yeah, like you said, Zach did a really great job on the feature with this. And in my view, I kind of feel like he stole the shine from the song, if that makes sense. He kind of outshone Azrael a little more, but that having to do with perfecting the chopper style. Azrael working on that, the clarity, like you said. But yeah, Zach Mahaffey really is coming into his own the last couple of times with Less and this feature. So he really helped the flow of the song as well. Next, we're going to talk about the mixing and mastering. For my taste on it, it felt like it was a decent mix and master. Could have been a little better. There was spots where I feel like the beat kind of overtook Azrael in the song, kind of drowned him out a little bit. but for the most part, it was pretty solid. It could tighten that up a little. The hook, the mix and master on the hook was really great, but there was times where he kind of got lost in the beat, so that just would be my recommendation for the mastering of that. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the mix was pretty good. Here we have, the song's engineered by Dave D Beats, and it's not bad. I think there's some room for improvement. The vocals, they definitely have the ability to pop a bit more, but at the same time, they're not muddy. They don't get like super lost within the track or anything like that. I would say that Azrael's vocals on the verses are where I could hear the most opportunity for improvement. They just seem to kind of thin out a little bit. So if they could keep that kind of fuller sound, I think it would add to the overall quality on the mix of the song.
Yes. Kind of what I was thinking the same way too. Just, like you said, not a whole lot of work needs to be done on that, but just tighten it up and, even it out some, and it really sound really great. The hook, I really loved the hook on this song, the Stop Lyin. The whole theme of the song is to not be a fake Christian and actually live what you're talking about, and that really came through on the hook. Just stop lying and say who you are, or live what you say. I'm sorry, not just say it, but live it. And you could really feel that in the hook. And also, I found myself, when the hook came around, moving my feet or tapping my foot, just kind of, it was catchy, and I really liked that. And that hook, which is what you're going for in that hook.
Yeah, I feel like the hook's the highlight of this song. Like you said, it is catchy. I could see, a crowd interacting with it well, especially with those hits where, stop lying. So, it's got that back and forth kind of element there. I'm perfectly fine with the hook on this song. I don't think there's really too much that they would need to tweak on it. I mean, if you wanted to get super nitpicky, obviously there's always ways that stuff could be better, but I think the hook really, is the highlight of this song.
Yeah, they really did a great job with the hook on this one. Which kind of brings us down to the writing. For me, the writing, it was hard to, like I said before, it was kind of hard to understand what Azrael was saying at times, but for the most part, the message came through. And like I mentioned with the hook, it's the whole aspect of living what you're saying and not just telling people you're a Christian, but actually living the lifestyle. And so that message came through. One particular line that stuck out with me was actually from Zach Mahaffey. He says, "You do anything to get likes on the gram, hashtag Jesus follower for the friends." And that, it's basically summarizes the whole song. And it's really kind of a convicting message if you're one of those people that just does things to get likes or to grow a big following. You need to check your heart and figure out what your faith is really all about. And that really got me with this song.
Yeah, so for me, like we were saying, since it was hard to fully understand everything on Azrael's verses, I would put the writing as slightly above average based just off of what I did hear. I think the concept, like you said, was good, and it's certainly something that's worth being, put into a song, right? It's a good discussion to have. I think that Zach did a good job with his feature, as I stated. Sometimes you get those features that they don't quite match up with the rest of the track, but I think Zach did a good job of keeping his on point and with the message of the song here. So yeah, I mean, it's average to above average, overall. solid hook, but there's those verses. I think maybe if that clarity improved a little bit to where you could fully understand everything that's being said here. Maybe I would give it a little bit higher grade, but I'm okay with what we're hearing writing wise here, and these guys are both young, right? They're both fresh in CHH, so that writing skill, that's going to keep improving for these guys.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, like you said, it was decent. There wasn't that one line that made you stop and go, oh, and have to rewind it back and catch it again just to, really get that double take. But it's a good start, especially for Azrael. He's up and coming. He's shown some potential with a couple other songs. So, definitely I believe this is his first try with that new style. So, clean that up. I think he really definitely has a lot of potential in the future. I think the last category we got here is production, and overall the production was decent. Like we talked about, combined, put everything together. It was a good track. It wasn't anything that blew you out of the water, and I'm not going to listen to it on repeat 3 or 4 times because I like the track that much. But like I said, it had a good beat to it. It was catchy. The hook was really catchy. The writing could have been a little bit better, but overall the production was good and decent, but not getting anything that's going to blow you out of the water and probably have that on replay for a long time. Do you kind of concur with that?
Well, I mean, I kind of enjoyed this beat. So the production is from Gummy Beats, and I think he did a solid job here. I felt like it has some catchy elements in there that makes you pay attention to it. The biggest thing I noticed is, it's got this interesting balance, right? Where it's got this dark element, but it still has a bounce to it at the same time, which, you don't always get that, whenever you got kind of that harder, darker feel to the track, right? To come in and still have that kind of bit of lightness on top of it. So I think that he was able to have a pretty good successful balance of those two, which makes it, that adds to that it being able to be catchy, right? Because sometimes those darker songs, they might be good and they might, hit you when you're in the right mood, but it's not like, oh, well, I'm not feeling that right now, whereas this still brings some of that into it, where I think you can listen to it kind of no matter the mood you're in, right? So yeah, I mean, I thought that the production was overall pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Overall, what do you think of this track as a whole?
Oh, so overall, let's see. I'm trying to remember. What did we say last month? We were going to do a scale, right? Did we do a 10-point scale? So, overall, I would probably put this around a 6 on my scale. I think it's, like I said, it's got its highlights. It's got some positives. I think for the most part, those positives outweigh negatives. But I mean, there's some of that stuff, especially when you're talking about that clarity and being able to understand everything that's going on, that puts it in that, just a little above average.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. I'd probably give it maybe a 5.5. Just working on the clarity, like you said, kind of nailing down that mastering, make it all smooth. Great potential from Azrael with this style. Just keep working on that and clarifying everything. I really would like to hear more of this from him and see what he can do with it, in the future. But overall, it was a pretty solid concept. Like you said, that dark element with a bit of the bounce to it. But I would definitely a 5.5, just for the potential it has.
So what is what's the best advice that you feel like you could give to Azrael?
The best advice, like I kind of keep going back to it, is that clarity with that rapping style, the chopper style. You know, we've heard from him before with his track he had the feature with Zay Hill on Understand Me, and I really liked that track. That was the first one I heard from him. Really good. It has that dark, edgy side to it, kind of a metalish sound, and it was really, I love that track. This is a different style for him, and if he could just perfect that, work on his clarity with the chopping, I really think he'd be able to do a great job on this as well.
Yeah. I think that, you know, if I was talking to him, the one thing I would say is, man, you know, just keep going, right? You know, I think, you know, he's messing around with something here that he can, as he perfects it, as he improves, like I said, he can set himself apart with it. So I mean, don't give up on it, and keep going, keep growing. You know, I got to ask you this, Nate. Obviously, you curate We Got the Sauce on Spotify. That's, you know, the official FiveTwenty Collective playlist. Would this song be something that you would be looking to put on there? If it's not quite there, you know, I mean, like, I think we've kind of hit on it, so I'm kind of maybe assuming ahead of time, but would this be something that would make your playlist, and if not, why?
This particular song I would not put on that playlist just because of needing to work on that craft, tighten it up, and, you know, make sure the wording is all there so it's clear for everybody. But I could see definitely having worked on it and coming back with a track similar to this again, and it sounds, you know, you can actually understand most of what's going on. I would definitely put a track like this of his on there, you know, as he hones that craft down and sharpens his flow in the future.
Awesome. So there you have it, guys. That was Stop Lyin by Azrael featuring Zach Mahaffey. It's an artist I know that I'm planning on keeping an eye on in 2019. Nate, how about you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, having heard Understand Me, I really can see some great potential with him. I just want to see him grow some more, and just excited to see what he does the rest of 2019.
Certainly. So, guys, it's time for our Industry Insider interview. This month, I was able to speak with Gary Crowe from the CHH Insider about what they have going on over at their platform, as well as how indie artists can best connect with someone they are looking to have promote their music. So, this month's Industry Insider interview is sponsored by The Bookkeeper 24/7. Music represents our uniqueness, our freedom, and helps define who we are. Good music is an art, expression, a form of worship, and is always personal. The Bookkeeper 24/7 understands the influence music has on our lives, and at www.thebookkeeper247.com, they play the truest form of hip-hop. Check them out now and find out how they are impacting the CHH culture in a positive way. The Bookkeeper 24/7 is currently looking to add writers to their team, and they're also looking for people who are looking for a platform to share their CHH-related content, including devotional writers who are just looking for a home to be able to publish their work. So connect with them at www.thebookkeeper247.com and check out their listing at platforms.520collective.info for more information and details on the Bookkeeper 24/7. Guys, Bookkeeper, if you're not following them, they're one of the platforms that we were talking about here at the beginning of the show where you know, we were able to connect with them and we just made this relationship. And man, you know, they've been doing it for a minute. They've been giving advice. They've been giving us feedback, and we cannot be more appreciative for what they do over there at Bookkeeper 24/7. Nate, I feel like I'm missing stuff on talking about them. I mean, they do a lot for the culture.
They do. They have a good pulse of what's going on in the culture, and definitely help out a lot of the newer artists as well to get their music out in front of everybody. Kind of the same theme of what we're doing as well.
Certainly. So, guys, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors this month, the Bookkeeper 24/7, Bridgewater, and Enoch Flow Records for help making this episode of the podcast happen. If you guys are interested in sponsoring future episodes of the 520 Collective podcast, you can head over to 520collective.com, click on our support page, and get information there, or email us at 520collective@gmail.com. Nate, before we get into this interview with Gary Crowe from the CHH Insider, you want to let the people know one more time where they can follow you?
I am on Twitter at I am Nate Dogg. That's capital IAM _ Nate Dogg with N and D capital letters, 2 G's at the end.
All right. Awesome. And guys, you can follow me on Twitter at EricBoston3. And we hope you enjoy this Industry Insider interview with Gary Crowe. Hey guys, what's up? This is Eric with 520 Collective and the 520 Collective podcast. I want to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way possible to make a podcast. Let me break it down for you. 1, it's free. That's right, no cost to use Anchor. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. So if you want to get on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and many, many more, then it's really, really easy, guys. You just set up an Anchor account at anchor.fm. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Again, make money, no minimum listeners. You're not going to find that anywhere else. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it's all in one place. So go right now and download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And make sure you let them know you heard it on 520 Collective podcast. What's up, and welcome to this month's Industry Insider interview. With me on the Trackstars Podcasting Network phone line from CHH Insider is Gary Crowe. Gary, thank you for hopping on the 520 Collective podcast with us.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, man, we're excited. Obviously, me and you have been able to kind of connect over the past year, and not only that, we both, have this passion for CHH, but, after we had some chats, we kind of found out that we have really a lot in common. We're like the same age, same family size. We both love baseball. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that's similar between the two of us.
Facts, man. Definitely. It's funny how God brings people together. I thought that was pretty interesting myself. I'm definitely appreciative of the friendship that we've started to create, for sure.
Oh, man, me as well, man. I'm very appreciative. I mean, obviously, what you and everyone there with CHH Insider, what you guys have just really, been a big part of what we've been able to do here with launching 520 Collective, man. And from a personal standpoint, I can't be, more thankful for you guys. So, but yeah, man, I want to jump in.
It.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. I want to, jump in right off the bat here, man, and just see, what do you guys have going on over there at CHH Insider? What can the listeners be checking out over on your platform?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we have that people actually can check out, besides, of course, our social medias, we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, is our playlist. And, CHH Caviar, that's our biggest thing that we kind of watch out for and try our very best to make sure that we're on top of at all times. We've got a lot of stuff that we've been working on over about probably the last years behind the scenes, be it a YouTube channel and a website. We own the .com for CHH Insider, thechhinsider.com. We own that, and then we tried to get that up and running, but quickly realized that it wasn't going to work out the way we want it to, as far as the way we hear it from God. But we truly believe that anything that we do needs to be done excellently. And so if it can't be done that way, we're just going to have to table it for a little bit. And so that's what we decided to do with that. We started reaching out for a while to see if maybe we could get some more people on board. And, no disrespect to anybody that put in for it. There's actually some really, really talented people, but as far as fit for our particular brand and where we were in that time when we reached out, it didn't work out. And so, we had Nat for a short time, and then, of course, she decided to head over to Rapzilla, and I respect the heck out of that. As far as, I totally understand. I think we all know that they're the big dogs, right? And so, we told her, hey, we love you. We want the best for you. We think that your talents would be super useful over there. And she was great. She came directly to us. She didn't hide it or anything. And so, of course, it hurt us. It hurt our hearts. But you know what? We were so glad to see that she was going to be able to be used on such a large platform for Jesus. How can we be mad about that? Because it's not about us, right? So
right.
We were happy in the end, right? So.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
The one thing that I'm hearing there that, is 100%, what you see when you're on this side of things is, that just attention to the detail and the wanting what you put out to be a high quality product. Whether it's, simple things like, your banner graphic on your Twitter account or, whatever, like you see that attention to detail with what you guys are doing, man. And it's really, paved the way for what, someone like FiveTwenty Collective has been able to do and what we can aspire to be, man. I think you guys are being smart in, not just jumping into stuff. You're being obedient to what God is, placing in your heart. You're not just saying, well, this is what we want to do, though, so we're going to do it anyway. And, man, that could be a difficult thing to do.
Oh, man, it is hard. It's so hard sometimes. I've personally gone and created the website 2 or 3 different times, and then I'm just like, man, I want to show this to the world, and I want to get it out there because I think this is a good time, and I think this is really where we need to go. And it's just like, nah, man, it's not the right time. There'll be time for it, but yeah, like you said. We appreciate, first of all, thank you for the compliments. Yeah, we've really had to calm ourselves down because it's tough. We're just people, right? So.
Oh yeah. So when did you guys officially launch CHH Insider?
So actually, it's kind of slowly or quietly, I should say, coming up on the 2-year mark. And at the end of this month, and so we've had some goals that we've made, and so far it's we've been blessed enough to reach all those, and we're really close to hitting our. You can really take it a couple different ways. Followers aren't important, but they're important, right? So it's not so much important personally in terms of, oh, hey, look what we did, like, oh, we're about to hit 2K, look at us, shoot, some of these platforms out here, right, like if they had to go back down to 2K, it'd be like, oh my gosh, what did we just do? So but like you recently started FiveTwenty Collective, and when you start and put so much time and energy into something, and you see God bless that, it's almost, maybe it's a little pride talking, but you're just so proud,
Right. Well, no, and I totally get that. I mean, I'm looking at your, your Twitter page right now, and obviously, like you're saying, you're just a few followers away from 2,000. I mean, we hit 200 followers in a month, and we were like going, "What is going on? This is crazy," I mean, but
yeah, it is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's it's one of those natural things, and I think it's okay to be happy about what you've accomplished, as long as you realize that it's not just you. And
exactly,
I mean, with a writing background, for me, I learned pretty quick that not everything that I put out there is going to get 1,000 people to read it. I learned how to become content with 30 reads on a post, or one. I mean, the big deal is that you're putting something out there that's connecting to people, even if it's one person, because you have the opportunity to make a difference there.
Right. And so, not only do I totally agree with that, but take it a step further, I feel like every person that does follow the account, it gives you the potential to reach people for Jesus. And so it's like, man, yeah, we don't really genuinely don't care that it's at 2,000 followers. And for the most part, like I said, maybe there's a little pride in there, but it's mostly just that, man, we've tried our best to do this the right way. We've made some mistakes along the way, but we've tried to listen to him, and he has been so faithful, man, whether it be through followers or just getting to meet people that say thank you so much for what you do. And it's like, dude, I'm not even doing anything, but I genuinely feel that way. But then he's like, Gary, you guys are doing stuff. You're putting in the effort that you could be spending on yourself, or really anything, or even things that we shouldn't be getting into, right? So, because I mean, to be real, a lot of the time when I'm doing this stuff, creatively, is at night, and there's plenty of temptations at night, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's been helpful. It's been helpful for me personally, but it's also been a blessing, man. And I just can't wait to see where it goes. But yeah, I mean, secretly, yeah, there's a goal to hit 2,000 by 2-year mark, and quite honestly, I genuinely believe God spoke to me and told me that that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to double it next year. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be true, but it's wild, man. But all I can do is continue to obey, right? So.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I don't doubt that for 1 second, man. I mean, you guys are putting out information. You do it in a way that people respond to it. And not only that, like you said, I mean, God has a plan for it, and he's going to put the right people there that's going to, be impacted by that. Every single follower, whatever it is, or whether it's, the artist that you interact with, the thing that I've learned, we've had a couple people come along on this trip, but even the people that's not directly a part of FiveTwenty, the guys like you that, it's crazy, the relationships I've kind of built over the last year that I had no even thought, that it was going to happen. And now here we are talking, and it's like, man, if you're willing to set aside that selfish part of it, right, and just go forward and even if it's a step of faith, right, if it doesn't make sense, God blesses it. He's true to his word, and he puts those people in place, man. It's amazing when it happens. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I Go. You go.
Oh no, you finish your thought, man, because I was going to ask you something different. So jump into your thought.
Yeah, you good. I was just going to say a little bit, kind of piggyback off that. We've gotten to meet some people too, some artists that have been gracious enough to help us learn the ropes in the beginning and help us. Like for instance, DJ DB405. I mean, he was just a couple little things here or there, like, hey, don't forget to use this app for your links. It'll just clean them up and make them look nicer. You know, do this, try that, and it's like, oh man, thank you for that. Like, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. I mean, Cannon's been awesome. I mean, Jay Fish, he let me stay at his house, or I guess it was a privilege for me to be there, like stay with his family, meet his family, and go to a concert up there, and that's how I met Cannon and Corey Wise and Trey Gadd, and man, it's just been. I mean, I met. You know, it's sort of honestly the list. I'm lucky. It's sort of endless, really. Reconcile, one of my favorite all time. He and Cannon, and man, it's crazy. They've both had some things to say that have been very helpful.
Yeah. Well, and that's
was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the same thing with me. You know, being able to get linked in with track stars. And what I've learned from them guys and how it's impacting what we're doing now. You know, it's you can't put a value on it. But
right.
Well, speaking of Cannon, that's my segue into talking about the playlist, because you hit on that. So Cannon, he was your cover artist for CHH Caviar in December and January.
Yeah.
Do we know who's coming up next?
Well, it's funny you asked, because, dude, I mean, seriously, that is something that's been on my mind for the last 2 weeks. And so I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, because it's been hard to get in touch with the particular person that we have in mind. They've got to have a large platform, and so it's been hard. So we don't want to throw them under the bus, but we do have somebody in mind, and it is somebody that's got some music out, and probably more to come soon. And we've got some I hate to say backup ideas, but there's an A, B, and C, if I'm being real. And if I don't hear back from him shortly, which I think we will, but obviously, you never know. God's got a plan. It could just be that he's too busy, or it could be that he's not interested. Who knows? It may not be in his personal business plan. That's okay. I respect that. I'm sure people a lot of times don't understand why we don't pick up their songs for the playlist, and that could be hurtful to them. But all I'm trying to do is genuinely do what I feel is right for us, and I'm sure that easily could be what's going on for him. So I hate to say I can't say yet.
No problem.
I say all that to say I don't have an answer.
Well, I just thought I'd see what I could get out of you. That's great, man.
No, that was that's an excellent question. Yep, that's a good one.
But let's talk about the playlist, because obviously CHH Caviar, within the culture, especially, it's one of the playlists that's known. It's one that's desired by artists. Talk about that. Talk about putting it together and growing it to the point that it is now.
All right. So honestly, the very beginning, the reason I did that, the reason I started making a playlist together was because my 13-year-old loves Christian hip hop. And I love Christian hip hop. And so it was something we could do together on the way to school, right? And the more I started putting it together and showing it to my buddy at work, his name is Marcus, he was like, man, you really good at picking stuff out. I'm like, dang. really? Because it's not that hard for me. I don't feel like it's that hard. And I guess maybe that's just God bless me with the ear. I have no clue. But that's the only thing I can come up with. But yeah, I mean, I just started out with that. I'm like, well, hey, I guess I'll just make it a part of CHH Insider. Let's do it. You know, that's kind of a popular thing now anyways, a couple years ago. And I'm like, heck, let's do it. And so anyhow, I started putting it together. I'm just basically picking songs that we feel like are excellent. I try to listen to each song, unless it's like, you know what I mean, if it's like Crowe, right? If it's Crowe and everybody's probably going to want to hear it, I'm probably going to put it on there. But if it's, you know, you're talking about like the top 10% that's automatically probably going to get put on there. Still not automatically, because I mean, I say automatically. Let me back up a little backtrack, just a tad. I mean, I still listen to it. I still verify that the quality is there and that they didn't just have an off day. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
Or they didn't switch it up and say something that I don't think is biblical. You know, if there's any of that going on, of course, we can't put it on there. But as long as all that's still in there, they're pretty much just going to get on there. But most of us that aren't reach and all that, you know, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to listen for quality. I'm going to listen to it on 2 different sound systems. One may or may not be a pair of headphones. But also my car, you know, I got a sub in there. I've got some good speakers and stuff, so I try to listen to the range. I try to hear it. You know, you hear some things on there that I don't hear on my headphones, and so sometimes it totally brings a song together, and sometimes it's like, oh man, that just messed it all up for me. And so every now and again, I'll run it by my 13-year-old and be like, all right, what do you think? and then that's some, like, I'd say 5% of the time, that's the yay or nay. But most of the time I'm able to kind of select it based on just what I feel like is right for the playlist. It started out as a lot of more hype songs, and it still is, I'd say, more often than not hype songs, but I've tried to take some more, I don't know, a little bit different approach recently, and just like being more willing to put on just excellent music that could be more of have more of an R&B feel. For instance, like Relapse, that just came out by James, I believe, and that guy's got a great voice, and so I can't not put that on there. It's kind of how I started to feel about it. I can't not put songs like that are just really good songs that enhance the value of CHH, because I care about the value of the CHH Insider, right? Like, that's important to me, but something that we've said numerous times on the website, or on the on our social media, is we just want to enhance, or like if you look at CHH as a stock, we don't want to come into CHH and make the stock devalue. We want to increase the stock. And however we can do that biblically, like, we want to do that. And so this playlist being our biggest thing that God has tasked us with, we take that serious. And so, man, it's so hard to tell people no. It's so hard, but I feel like it's what we're called. We're called to do that right now, even if just a season, you know?
Yeah. So you I mean, obviously you're talking about, you know, the Lecrae's and you know, like, you know, guys that are on reach, you know, the top end guys in CHH. Let's go look at the other end for a second, because obviously what FiveTwenty is all about, you know, we're trying to connect with those guys, you know, that's getting their feet wet, you know, that's growing their ministry. I mean, is there a place for them guys with CHH Insider and CHH Caviar? And if so, like, what are you looking for out of them that's going to make you say, oh, I may need to put him on this playlist?
Okay, so just to kind of give I'll give a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is post your music. I mean, the industry standard is to not at somebody, right? Unprofessional. It's all these things, and I agree. However, I don't agree at the same time. This is kind of where we get into the long answer. I think that there are definitely places to tag somebody in something, and I think there's times and places not to. Really, the biggest thing for us is do it once. Absolutely, I don't have a problem with that personally. I usually actually listen to almost all of them, and if it's really good, then I'll listen to it again on, like I said, on another system. And then if I really like it, then let's talk, you know. But if I don't like it, I'm just going to move on, you know, because you don't want to be hurtful, and I definitely don't want to call them out on social media, because it could be not all, you know. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? So be it not Christian or whatever, we're not with calling people out on social media. So anyways, I think the best way to do it is to always inform us. Always inform us when you have new music.
So what's your preferred way of being informed? I mean, obviously you said that you don't mind someone, you know,
sure,
putting an ad in there on their post, but how do you prefer to be reached out to?
I would say the best way to do it is just DM us. And if we don't follow you, and you haven't heard back from us, you know, sometimes you get in those requested DMs, right? And sometimes I don't see those, but I try to check them every once in a while. Yeah, I would say probably the best way to do it is to shoot us a DM, and if we don't get back to you, that means we probably didn't see it, or if you've included a link, we didn't, you know, no disrespect, but we just didn't like it.
Gotcha. So do you have a particular platform that you're checking those DMs a little bit more on?
Yeah. Twitter is I would say definitely our mainstay as far as what we do. Instagram is something that we'd like to do a lot more of, but because we aren't producing a lot of original content at this time, we don't get to post a lot on there. So that's kind of one of the, I would say the best way is to shoot us a DM, or if we don't get back to you, send an email to thechhinsider@gmail.com, and then that will pop right up on my personal phone, and as well as Tyler's, and we'll check it out and go from there. But
and
really,
on Twitter, you guys are at.
No, you go.
I was just saying, at Twitter, you guys are at the CHH Insider. Just so,
yep.
In case someone's not following you, which if they're listening to this and they're not following you, man, they're crazy.
Oh man, you're so kind. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's at the CHH Insider on all the social medias. We were lucky enough to get that name on all of them, and so. But yeah, man, the biggest thing I see as far as submissions and stuff is someone's. I mean, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got to give it raw to you, because I'm a beat around the bush kind of guy, but I'm also not at all. It just depends on the situation. Like, I don't like hurting people's feelings, but
we like honesty around here. So.
Like,
but we like honesty both as a person and as a trait. So
I love it.
If you get that, if you get what I'm saying there.
Yes, absolutely. yeah. I've had some experiences with him too. Nice guy. But yeah, man, some people's voices, I don't know. I don't personally have enough experience with recording, so I don't know if it's the microphone. But I honestly think it's just their personal voice, if I'm being real. The way they do their thing, it doesn't, sometimes I just want to be like, hey, the way you're doing it isn't for you. It may be for a few people, and that may be the people that you need to reach. But sometimes it's almost like, oh man, I don't know. It just depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to start a music career and, quit your full-time job, then a lot of times these guys it's just not going to work. But if your goal is to just reach that one person or handful of people that God made your voice for, go for it. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So the biggest thing is, if you don't feel like you're getting the response that you want and you want a better response, change up your melody, change up your recording setup. I mean, ask the people that have done it. Man, Ruslan is he's just a wealth of knowledge, and being able to watch his YouTube videos that he puts out consistently over the last year or two, man, they've been helpful for me, just to understand a little bit more of what they go through as artists.
Yeah, and I'll second that, man. I love what they're doing over there at King's Dream. I get so much out of those videos, and guys, if you're listening to this and you're not watching those videos, you really should, because like Gary's saying, there's so much knowledge there especially for artists, but for just entrepreneurs, just people that are trying to build a brand, build a platform, whatever it may be, man. There's so much information, and they're giving it out there. They're one of the guys who want to see the culture thrive. So
yep, you can tell for sure. But no, I'll try to wrap it up a little bit with the way people can get to us, or the best way to catch us. Man, just make excellent music. If you have a song that your wife is saying is good, or your girlfriend is saying is good, your best friend saying is good, go ask somebody you don't know. Go ask somebody that you're 1,000% sure will be blunt with you. Pay somebody $5 to listen to it. Ask your neighbor down the road that loves hip hop. Is anybody? Oh, that might be a chance, just because the fact that the CHH thing kind of gets a bad rap. But
right. Send your submissions into FiveTwenty Collective, man. Maybe we get you on the podcast and we'll give you some true answers.
Yeah, exactly. send them in for that, exactly. But definitely ask somebody that will be real with you. And honestly, if you want to come to us, we'll be real with you. We'll be as gentle as we can, but we'll be real with you. The hard part for us is, honestly, man, we don't have time or the emotional energy to expend on explaining it in kind detail to everybody when we say no. So a lot of times we either don't respond, and I know that can be a total jerk move, but or we'll try to make it, like, if we've dealt with these people before, we can make it a little shorter because they know our heart, right? But we just want everybody to know that it is no disrespect if we don't respond, or it's not a total, like, just blackball on your music career. Like, we're just two people. We're just a couple of people, doing our best, and so we're wrong. There's times we're wrong too.
Certainly. I'll back it up, man. I mean, you guys have the right heart. You guys have the right motivation. So I think that anyone that hits you up, if you give them that honest feedback, they should hopefully take that the right way, man. Or I'm gonna tell them that they should be taking it that way, because you guys are some of the most genuine people that I've been lucky enough to interact with so far, man. And you really want to see them, even if their stuff's not there yet, you want to see them get there, which is pretty awesome.
Man. Thank you for the kind words, but no, that's the truth, man. Ask Jay Fish. I mean, Jay Fish actually added us on Twitter, and he mentioned us, and he was like, "Hey, CHH Caviar is cool and all, but you need some Jay Fish." And I'm like, "Bro, it's not quite there. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna get there." And like, the dude did. Like, almost everything he's dropped recently has been on CHH Caviar. And yeah, you could say it's biased, whatever, but ask him. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying you particular. I'm just saying people, because if it weren't, if the song's not right, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just and
well, that's the right call. And that's the right call.
It's the right thing to do. I mean, if I'm going to go through all the trouble to do all of, like, if we're going to go through all the trouble to do all this, like, the least we can do is finish it and do what we feel is right on the back end, you know? So anyway, yeah, he's actually gone. This was like a year or more than a year ago, but I'd say probably like a year and a half ago, actually. He was super open to like hearing thoughts about it and criticisms and things of that nature, and willing to make changes and take new ideas. I was like, dang, man, like I'm just a guy. Like, who says I'm right? But man, thank you. Like, just the fact that you would even consider changing something because of my opinion, dang, you know, appreciate that. Dang, I'm humbled, you know. And so he's been that guy. That's honestly, and not to open, you know, wounds again or anything, but that's really why I thought he was going to be on the freshman list, because this guy went from making music that personally I didn't enjoy, and he knew that, but he went from that, man, to some of my favorite songs recently have been Jay Fish songs. I mean, Dance on the Devil. I mean, dang, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, he is
my 13-year-old.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying he has definitely blossomed. That connection with Enoch Flow and what they're doing. You know, just some really cool stuff coming out of that camp, man. And here's the thing, you know, that's just one story, right? And CHH is growing. There's so much talent and people involved in it right now. And, you know, it's guys like CHH Insider that's helping it to flourish, right? So I mean, and I think it's gonna keep growing. You know, you can't deny what's out there. These guys just gotta be willing to put in the work to do it. You know, and I can tell you the people we've interacted with so far since we've launched. There's a lot of them that want to. They want to do what they need to. They want to get that feedback. So guys, I would encourage you, hit up CHH Insider, let them hear what you have going, and then listen to what they tell you. You know, if it's constructive criticism, take it that way. Don't take it as a knock against you. Take it as, we want to see you get better. Here's how you do it. So, I mean, yeah, without guys like you and several others that are putting in that hard work, man, I mean, CHH, you know, would be, you know, they like to say CHH is dead. I don't see it. I think we're just growing, you know, and sometimes you go through some growing pains. But, you know, there's a lot of platforms in place that's going to help it. And man, we're excited to see, you know, what is going on with you guys here in 2019. I know I'm looking forward to, hopefully we can explore some some ways that we can partner with you guys, because it's really all about building the kingdom in the end, regardless of, how that may look on the surface. What drives it all is that purpose. So, man, I'm excited. I'm sure that the people that are listening, I think that you gave them a lot here to go off of. Hit people up the right way, put in the work, and it will get recognized.
Yep, we see a lot of music, and as you guys do too. But man, there's nothing that substitutes that, just like that Zay Hill attack. You know what I mean? Like that dude, as you know, he's in there, man. You see him every day. Hit me up for a feature. Hit me up. Like I want to be on your next hit song. Like, man, he's just got nothing but better and better and better. Like, I'm like, when is he going to run out of things to say? And I'm like, hopefully never, because the dude's so good.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that he's going to hit that point, man. I think he's. I
do too.
Yep, exactly. Well, hey Gary, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you good. My bad.
I'll just say.
No, I was just saying.
Oh no, you go. You got it, man. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna let you take over.
All right.
So.
Nah, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. This is the 520 Collective Podcast. Gary Crowe. No, I'm just playing. No, man. You're right. I was just mostly agreeing with you. Like, I don't think he's gonna finish either. I don't think he's that. Like, I personally don't have that much to say. I know it seems like I do on here, but not in song. I mean, not make it sound so good like he does. So we mention him a lot, and that's just because we respect the heck out of what he does and his work ethic. And he probably didn't. He may, but he may not even realize like how much he's showing other young kids that don't have an example, and he's showing them what hard work does. I respect that so much,
For sure. Well, Gary, we appreciate you being on the podcast with us. I look forward to the next time we get to chop it up on here. I'm sure it is going to happen again, because I will be unhappy if it doesn't, and Nate is not going to want me unhappy. So, but any final things you want to throw out there? You want to mention your social media again or anything like that before we wrap things up?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Always glad to come over and spend some time talking to you, regardless of the platform. We love what you guys do. We, again, appreciate the friendship that we've been able to start. Look forward to seeing where it goes and where y'all go. I mean, we genuinely believe in you guys, and we've enjoyed watching you all get this thing started. And just like you said, if there's anything we can do to help, of course, we definitely pray about that. And just let us know.
We're going to grow together, man. We're going to grow together.
Yep, I agree. I see that. I see that happening. But all of our platforms, social media platforms, are at the CHH Insider. Our Gmail, the CHH Insider at Gmail. But man, we just love you guys over there, and we just love CHH, and we love the people. So man, anything we can do to help, just like you, I've got children. Tyler's in school at Princeton. I mean, the dude's smart, but hey, I mean, he's there. He's trying to get his life started, So maybe we can hit him up for some more time when he's done with school. So, but we just want to say thank you for having us on, and thank everybody for rocking with us over the last couple of years. And we can't wait to see what this year brings for both of our platforms. So,
certainly, man. Certainly, we love you guys too, and yeah, man, we're gonna put in some work this year, no doubt about that. Guys, that is Gary Crowe from the CHH Insider joining us on the February Industry Insider interview. Tune in next month for another awesome Industry Insider interview coming at you here on the 520 Collective Podcast, on the Trackstars Podcasting Network, guys. Check them out at trackstars.com, and make sure you hit us up at FiveTwentyCollective.com. We will see you next month.